Dragons. They're everywhere, right? In our favorite books, movies, myths. We feel like we know them. But have you ever really stopped and asked yourself, what is a dragon anyway? Well, it's a question with a whole lot more answers than you'd think. So today, we're going to try and unpack that. This right here, this is the big mystery. Is it a monster, a god, a real living animal? Or is it something else completely? To get to the bottom of it, we have to look back. I mean, way back. And this is really the key, isn't it? This isn't just one culture's story. It's a human story. From the most ancient creation myths to the biggest blockbusters today, the idea of the dragon is this constant, powerful thread woven through our history. All right, so let's start with the version we all know and love, the dragon of myth and legend. And you've got to understand, these weren't just simple monsters to be slain. Oh no, they were seen as fundamental forces of nature and creation. What's so wild is just how different these roles were. I mean, think about it. In Babylon, a dragon goddess literally is the world. In Mesoamerica, they're symbols of wisdom. For cultures in India, they're these powerful spirits of the water. And in China, they represent something incredibly complex, a spiritual connection to the divine that's way beyond just good or evil. These are foundational figures, not just beasts in a cave.
But what if I told you that dragons are real? Okay, maybe not the fire-breathing, gold-hoarding kind, but there are actual creatures walking and swimming among us that are so incredible we just had to give them that legendary name.
And they couldn't be more different. On one hand, you've got the Komodo dragon, an absolute unit of an apex predator that runs its entire ecosystem in Indonesia. And on the other, the blue dragon, this tiny, gorgeous sea slug just floating in the ocean. One is a giant, the other is minuscule. And when I say giant, I am not kidding. The biggest Komodo dragon ever verified tipped the scales at a mind-blowing 366 pounds. That is heavier than a giant panda. This is a real-world monster for sure. Now, let's flip the script completely. The blue dragon sea slug? It maxes out at just 1.5 inches long. You could literally hold it in the palm of your hand. But trust me, you really, really don't want to do that. So what's the link? What ties this massive lizard to this tiny little slug? It all comes down to one thing: venom. A Komodo's bite can be lethal, and that tiny blue dragon, it can deliver a sting that is seriously painful and potentially fatal. They've earned the name dragon because they command respect with some serious hidden power. You know, this connection between giant reptiles and a sense of awe or fear, it's not new. In fact, it might just be the spark that ignited the whole dragon myth in the first place. I mean, can you imagine ancient people stumbling upon the bones of creatures that just defied all explanation? Let's just look at the timeline for a sec. 100 million years ago, you have this massive flying reptile soaring over Australia. And then much, much more recently, just 146,000 years ago, an ancient human relative whose skull was nicknamed Dragon Man was living in China. Both of these discoveries point to a past filled with things that look an awful lot like dragons. And we need to be clear about the scale here. A pterosaur isn't a dinosaur, it's a flying reptile. And this one, Thapunagashawi, had a wingspan of 23 feet. 23 feet! Just picture a shadow that big passing over you. If you didn't have science to explain it, what other word would you possibly use but dragon? The paleontologist who helped discover it, Tim Richards, he really said it best. When you're digging up the fossil of a creature with a mouth like a spear and a wingspan wider than a truck, yeah, dragon doesn't seem like such a stretch at all. So that brings us to today. And our fascination? It hasn't faded one bit. If anything, it's evolved. We are still completely obsessed with dragons. We've just found new, incredible ways to bring them to life. And you don't have to look any further than your TV. Projections for 2026 put House of the Dragon right up there in the absolute top tier, with potentially 90 million people watching around the world. In an age where we have endless things to watch, dragons still have this incredible power to grab our collective attention. But we're not just watching anymore, are we? Nope. Now we want to be in the driver's seat. Modern gaming has given us the ultimate fantasy fulfilled, the chance to actually be the dragon. And the range of experiences is just amazing. You can fight for your life as a baby dragon in a survival game like The Wings of Dawn, get into these epic dogfights in Sagas of Lumen, or even just build a peaceful bond with your creatures in Dragon Rancher. We've gone from fearing dragons to wanting to be them. And this obsession is leaping off the screen and into our physical world.
The line between what's myth and what's real is getting blurrier and blurrier, thanks to some pretty mind-blowing technology.
Yep, you heard that right. At Universal's Epic Universe theme park, you can actually see a massive, custom-built animatronic drone that looks and moves just like a dragon from How to Train Your Dragon. It's a real flying dragon, brought to life for a whole new generation to see.
Which brings us full circle, all the way back to our original question. After digging through myths, nature, fossils, and our modern culture, what have we learned? What exactly is a dragon? Well, the answer seems to be that a dragon isn't just one thing. It's a powerful myth that helps us explain where we came from. It's a real animal that embodies power and inspires fear. It's a fossil that sparks our imagination. And it's a cultural icon that we are constantly reinventing. It's more of a symbol than a species.
So a dragon can be a symbol of terrifying power, of divine wisdom, of wild, untamed nature, or even of friendship. It's an idea so potent that it is echoed through every single era of human history. So the only real question left is, what does the dragon mean to you?